Good evening, dear students. Today, let us dive into scientific contact, our second unit. And these are the topics we are going to discuss in Unit 2. And today's topics are intellectual honesty and research integrity, scientific misconduct, falsification, fabrication, and plagiarism. First, let us look what is intellectual honesty. As we all know, we have a moral duty to be honest. This duty is especially important when we share ideas that can inform or convince others. Intellectual honesty combines good faith with a primary motivation towards seeking true beliefs. It is an applied method of problem solving and an unbiased, honest attitude like one's personal beliefs or opinions do not interfere with the truth. Relevant facts and information are not omitted even if it is different from one's hypothesis. Facts are not twisted to mislead or support one's views. References are acknowledged or recognized, and plagiarism is avoided. In short, we can say intellectual honesty is honesty in the acquisition, analysis, and transmission of ideas. A person is being intellectually honest when he or she, knowing the truth, states the truth. Now let us see what is research integrity. Research integrity includes a commitment to intellectual honesty and personal responsibility. And personal responsibility means one's own actions and a range of practices for responsible research conduct. You can define research integrity as active adherence to the ethical principles and professional standards essential for the responsible practice of research. By active adherence, we mean adoption of principles and practices as a personal code, not just simply accepting because of the rule makers who force us to do. By ethical principles, we mean honesty, the golden rule, trustworthiness, and high regard for the scientific record. Research integrity is not only for the researcher, it describes both the researcher as well as the institution in which they work. For individual researcher, it is an aspect of moral character and experience. For institutions, it is a matter of creating an environment which promotes responsible contact with standards of excellence, trustworthiness, and lawfulness. We have said already, the research integrity includes personal responsibility, which in turn includes a range of practices. Let us see what these practices are. Honesty in proposing and reporting research, accuracy in representing research proposals and reports, proficiency in peer review, collegiality or cooperation between the colleagues in scientific interactions, communications, and sharing of resources, disclosing conflicts of interest, that is, one person's interest is not the same with the other person. Protection of human subjects during the research, caring of animals in the research, sticking to the mutual responsibilities of mentors and trainees. Ultimately, research integrity means examining the data with objectivity and being guided by the results rather than by preconceived notions. That is, form an opinion without knowing thoroughly. Based on what we learned above, let us list out the elements of professionalism. Intellectual honesty, excellence in thinking and doing, collegiality and openness, autonomy and responsibility, self-regulation. Now let us see what is scientific misconduct. We know that there are standard codes to be followed by a researcher while doing research. The violation of this code and deviating from the commonly accepted practices in proposing, performing, reviewing, or reporting research activities is called scientific misconduct. And what are the types of Scientific misconduct. Misconduct was defined as fabrication, falsification, or plagiarism. In short, it is FFP. Now, what is fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism, and why do we say this as misconduct? Falsification is changing or omitting the results to support the hypothesis. This includes manipulating research materials or processes like the questionnaire or samples used in the research. Manipulation of images or representations in education research, we can say the charts or picture representation of the data. All these are considered as falsification. Fabrication is constructing or adding data or observations which is not in the actual data collected or experiments. The results are prepared based on the incomplete or assumed results are meant to be fabricated. Plagiarism is using someone's work as their own. Text, figures, tables, and even ideas can be plagiarized. When a whole article or table or data set is republished without permission, it is a copyright violation and considered as ethical misconduct. Now, what are the causes and effects of scientific misconduct? The first one is the conflict of interest, personally, professionally, and financially. Policies regarding human and animal subjects, mentor or mentee responsibilities and relationships, collaborative research, peer review, data acquisition, management, sharing, and ownership, research misconduct and policies for handling misconduct, responsible authorship and publication, ethical issues in biomedical research, environmental and societal impacts of scientific research. However, misconduct is a complex phenomena caused due to psychological and social factors like the pressure to produce result, career ambitions, competition for finding, and poor communication and oversight. Misconduct is often committed by the people who decide to bend or break the rules of science when faced with stress and burdens. Hope you all are clear with intellectual honesty, research integrity, and scientific misconduct. Let's meet in the next class. Thank you.